Welcome to Wonder Points Wednesday. Today I'm talking with famous people. We're awarding double the Wonder Points. So every time you do something wonderful, you have a chance to earn Wonder Points. And the whatever number of Wonder Points you earn today, that total will be doubled. So everybody's been saying, Eric, when are you going to give us an opportunity to earn extra Wonder Points? Well, today is your day. Today is the day. We're back from dinner at the Mexican restaurant. It was delicious. It filled my body with nourishing foods,
Yes.
many of which I needed to survive. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling like a man who's not hungry and like a man who wants to share his experience, his knowledge with all the peoples of the world.
Oh, that's so generous of you.
Yeah, I'm generous like that. Um, so what, Eric and Rachel, did you guys do with Cameron today? Well, we loaded Strom this morning. Cameron helped me figure out how to get the pressure washer working. Then I did a lot of pressure washing. Um,
Yeah, you did a lot of it.
yeah. Then we all went out to dinner. And now we've come back here. Come back here to the home so that we can live stream again for all the peoples of the world.
For all the peoples of the world, all of them.
I was just explaining. We went to the Mexican restaurant. It was delicious. It's called Don Roberto, I think.
John Reuben.
Don Reuben. Anyway, I was saying on CJ's live stream last night, the thing about trans people is the term makes you think it's talking about people who work in the transportation industry, bus drivers, pilots, train engineers, boat captains, etc. So I think instead of doing any special rights and stuff for transportation people, we should just give them a raise. So anyhow, I'm gonna grind up some wheat here so I can pull some long reps. Well, blame the train engineer unions. That's what I say. Blame the unions. I'm not a big fan of unions, especially public unions.
Now, if you're a part of a union, can you, will you get different pay than other people who are non-union? Is that how that works at the same job, same company?
Well, I mean, if you're part of a union, it means the contract that you're working under was negotiated by your union. And so, if certain kinds of jobs, it's possible to hire union or non union labor, right? Other kinds of jobs, most of the time, unions, it's not, there's no non-union alternative, like public school teachers.
Okay.
And then the public school teachers unions negotiate with various school districts for their contracts and stuff. But the problem is public unions aren't negotiating against an equally interested party because they're negotiating against the state. So it causes all kinds of problems.
Okay.
Where's that lighter? Here we are. Here we are. I found it. So Cameron and I were talking. He brought some hole saws and various things. We may play around with some wood tomorrow and try to make a couple of wooden bongs, maybe.
That'd be fun.
But is there anything in particular that you'd like to do while you're here?
Anything we haven't done. It's always nice to go screw around in the car. We shot the BB gun a bit. We shoot the BB gun more. It's nice to just hang out and not do anything. But
That's
I
cool
can't
too.
say I don't have any list of stuff I'm trying to do. We could do the exciting job of looking up the chainsaw manual together somewhere.
Yeah, we could look at the
Stuff like
chainsaw
that.
tomorrow. That's
Yeah.
possible too.
Yeah.
Well, we might need it to get wood for our bongs.
Could be.
We could probably just go walk around the street and look on the hillsides and see if there's pieces of wood that are good. Yeah, but
Hey, Mr. Bobby, I find myself well on this evening. Thank you.
Cameron finds himself well, Bobby. Well. A jetpack, huh?
Have to get a lot of. Maybe we can call some places tomorrow and ask them if they have jetpack insurance. Just put it on speaker and just do it for a video. Hi, I'm going to use a jetpack with my chainsaw. Can you insure me? No, I'm not retarded. Why would you say that?
So my plan is you're gonna jetpack up the top of this tree and chainsaw it down.
That's right, but it would be gnarly.
I've rigged both the jetpack and the chainsaw so they can be operated one-handed.
Yes, exactly.
So let's do this shit.
I'm actually going to operate the chainsaw with my feet.
Yes, there will be wonder points. Karma's Pimp. I'm giving you 1 wonder point, which doubles to 2. Mr. Bobby, 1 wonder point doubles to 2. Winston's mom, 1 wonder point doubles to 2. Just for being the first 3 people in the chat. You guys each have earned 2 wonder points. So congratulations. Don't be afraid to just show them off to your friends. You know, make them jealous of your amount of wonder points.
Is one of the moderators, do they have a spreadsheet on wonder points?
Theoretically, yes.
Okay. I know which one.
Wow, it's just theoretical though.
I don't think that it needs that.
Just theoretical.
Theoretical wonder points. Ooh, Wonder Bread sandwiches, like only you can get at the neighbor's house.
Your mom only buys wheat bread.
Exactly. We get Trader Joe's bread, but the neighbors get Wonder Bread and mayonnaise. A cheese that comes in plastic bits, each piece of cheese. That's neighbor stuff.
Did Cameron dish out all the hot goss at dinner? We mostly just ate in silence. We were all hungry, I think. And and I had the same thing I had the other day, except this time I had red sauce instead of green sauce on it, which is a chicharron chimichanga.
Chicharron.
Now,
Qué bueno.
one of the ladies who worked there was muy embarazado. She looked like she was 2 days from giving birth.
She was pretty huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was still working as the sit at your table lady, you know. Yeah, my Spanish is alright. You could go for enchiladas or chili killies. Chili killies, they have them there, and they serve breakfast all day too. They'll have huevos rancheros. They got all your classic Mexican foods. Acacia, I'm giving you half a point, which doubles to a single point, single wonder point for you. Half a point for Ruben, doubles to a single wonder point, because you guys round out the top five, first five people here in the chat to say things. So all five of you now have at least one wonder point. Three of you have 2 wonder points. 2 of you have 1 wonder point. So congratulations, Acacia. Congratulations, Ruben. You know, cherish your wonder point. Let them accumulate, and eventually you'll be able to change them in for wonders. You could choose the Great Pyramids. You could choose the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. You could choose the Colossus of ancient Greece. If the Mexican cops pull you over, the correct words are, how much do I have to bribe you?
Exactly. Aquí es mi $40. That's what you said.
Yeah. So hopefully you just don't get pulled over in Mexico.
And I only say that out of experience. That's the amount that it did cost my friends when the federale ran over when they had to pay $40 a piece in Mexico. So I'm not making up my story. It's not a biased story. It's just like a description of what happened when my friends urinated in the wrong place.
Oh, senor, if you want us to let you go, you're going to have to give us 40 American dollars.
Yeah.
Show media, hello, how are you? Asombroso, punzante, maravilloso,
Maravilloso.
maravilloso, maravilloso, feliz, dichoso, maravilloso. While I'm busy ODDing myself out. Are you ODDing yourself out? Are you ODing on ODDing? I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible, terrible news.
So, Mr. Bobby, my experience is the harassment is brought on by some stimulus. His father was harassed by Mexican cops, but, you know, I try to be on my extra best behavior in a foreign country. My buddies would go down there and think like this is a place to party, like they watch the movie Porky's. But I always figured it would turn out like the movie Porky's, where the sheriff has his stuff. I feel like often there's something that, you know, invites the policia.
Oh, sí. Oh, sí. Don't be a ridiculous gringo, and they probably won't fuck with you.
Yeah, don't be drunk and dumb in the streets is my sort of rule. probably not, you know,
In other words, don't be a ridiculous gringo.
exactly. You know, break laws, probably not the best idea in a foreign country. I don't know. Oh yeah, Mr. Bobby, they don't fuck around. I guess I would assume they don't.
You were born and raised in the border town of Laredo, Texas.
25 St. Beers.
That does suck, Mr. Bobby. But a crime was committed. So therein lies your justification.
I could see how you wouldn't want to go back though if, you know, you didn't even know why you were experiencing this like horrible, if you were imprisoned for any moment over there, that probably would have been pretty scary. And probably not just like, okay, we will let you out in 12 hours. It's more like, how will you pay for us to let you out? Is probably how it went.
Oh, that must have been very traumatic, Mr. Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I didn't have that kind of experience in Mexico.
Hello.
When I was a kid, I went to Cancun with my parents. And what I remember being very amazed by was there was a hole in the floor in the back seat of the cab that we rode in.
Oh
You could see the ground underneath as you were driving. And I remember thinking, like, but there's a hole in this car, you know?
There's a rust hole?
I don't know. It's like where your feet were, like, there's a little hole and you could see the ground through it.
That's like terrifying.
That's interesting.
Confusing too.
But my parents were just kind of like, oh, it's part of the adventure. And I was just kind of like, okay.
Don't put your finger through there, Eric.
Don't put your foot down there. Machismo culture. Boy, we could see some machismo culture watching Naked and Afraid Brazil.
Yeah.
It makes you realize how egalitarian America is, because that shit, like the women just sort of go on the Brazil one are just like, okay, here we go again. Of course, we got to deal with these Brazilian men who are all meh, 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 meh.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's interesting to watch.
They somehow like.
It's very they like there were 10 different Brazilians separated into 5 groups of 2, and just sort of incidentally they all eventually came together, and 9 of them all finished together.
Yeah.
And it was like a weird kind of communitarianism that you wouldn't see with a bunch of Americans. Like the way that Joe just accepted that because he had come into this other guy's camp, he had to let that other guy be the boss, kind of.
Yeah.
And the way that relationship worked, it's like
He understood it though.
yeah, it's like they both did.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like some of the machismo thing was made the women look bad, and some of it made the men look bad, because like there's this one guy who was not particularly machismo, just basically an STP, and he was with this lady who was like super emotionally volatile, up and down, up and down. Remember the blonde lady who's always crying and saying,
"Oh yeah,
you didn't give me any compliments," and stuff like that.
Yes, Diogo and.
Yeah, but Diogo wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't being like, he was one of the less like machismo ones.
Yes.
But she it's like with the more machismo ones, the stuff they were saying about the women, it did apply to her. She was that way. She was like super
was-
like hormonal
yeah.
and fucking all over
Right.
the place.
Where the other one, Renee with the other Sati or something, she had reason to be like a little pissy because he didn't listen. Like at one point she was like, "We need to put a roof on our
Right.
head," and he didn't listen to her.
Right.
But like this other chick, she just was like, "Oh,
Right.
I brought all these leaves for you, and you don't even thank me."
And then there's this
Yeah.
life coach lady who seemed cool, but then it's like she pulled this weird like catty power move shit with this younger
Mhm.
Indian looking chick, and ended up like winning that relationship, which pissed me off. But they
Yeah,
both
me too.
finished.
I know, but they both finished. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow they
It's like nobody ever said well fuck this person, let's cut them loose. They're
Yeah, no.
they're dead weight. Nobody ever said that.
Mm-mm.
That's communitarianism for you. Tu eres el mayor or minor? Are you the better or the worst? Better or worse? Bigger or smaller? I don't remember those.
I'm not too sure. I never use any. Mayor or minor? Upper, lower, bigger, smaller?
Rubinar, listen. En español, repete. Hermoso. Hermoso. I like teaching Ruben Spanish because he's an eager student.
Well, I think el mayor or menor is of your siblings, like the older or younger, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah, el mayor would be the older brother.
you're welcome,
Very nice,
Ruben.
very
You are
nice.
welcome. That was good pronunciation. I used to live very close to a street called Hermosa, and I drove down it all the time.
The sister.
Yeah, Sister Street.
Cochito, ¿podemos hablar en español? Sí. Es muy cool.
Pero verdad, no.
Their dad. Is that go?
It's like, well, really? No, not really.
Oh yeah, really, verdad. Sí, verdad.
Es falso.
It's not falso.
No es verdad, es el falso.
No tengo palabras suficientes para comunicar.
Es el show de famosos personas con host Eric. Hola, soy host Eric. Hablamos de el MBT. How do you say I in Spanish?
Yo,
Yo. Call it yo.
yo soy una biblioteca. Yeah, that's right. Yo soy una biblioteca. That's right. I am a librarian. Tengo que manejar a la biblioteca para comprender cosas. ¡Qué padre! Me encanta el español porque pienso que es un idioma hermosa, pero no hablo muy bueno. You don't? I think you hablo muy bueno enough.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not muy bueno, just regular bueno. Sí.
Mr. Bobby me gusta lo. Yeah.
Oh, sí. Nosotros vamos a la playa. Repete. Um, I took Spanish after high school. I took French in high school. But I don't really remember any French. But I know a reasonable amount of Spanish because when I was trying to learn Spanish, and actively trying to, you know, learn more of it, I'd try to, or would read La Opinion, which is the Mexican newspaper in Los Angeles. And I have a dictionary and try to look up words I didn't know, but I could usually piece together what most of the articles were saying, you know. But like learning to read it is much different than learning to speak it.
Yeah. I think it's easier to read it than it is to speak it.
I think so too. Young Sly Boy. Well, that's not our normal population of visitors here, but typically the people here are, they might be young and sly, or they might be sly and boys, but almost never are they all three. What is the buzz? The buzz is called Sock Puppet Symposium, a case study in tomfoolery. Um, I'm going to go outside and smoke a cigarette. Gonna use my lips, gonna use my lungs, gonna use my flavor, of which I have grandiose amounts.
We call that sabor for my Spanish speaking individuals.
Mmm.
Sabor de fumando.
Sabor de fumando. So, I'm going to use today, instead of using fire to light my cigarette, I'm going to use fuego. Viva la raza, what can I say? It's like that one singer once said, bring a little fuego into your heart. Hi, Oliver Line Hands. Oliver Line Hands here, everybody. Did you hear the news? Oliver Line Hands here. And apparently, a wonderful time is going to be had by everybody. Um, I feel like singing a song. What was that song? I think I'll sing Crazy. I'm crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you loved me as long as you wanted. Then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. Worry, why would I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world can I do? I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy for crying and crazy for trying and crazy for loving you. It's a good song. I hear an animal over there. I fall to pieces each time I hear your name. That song's not quite as good as the other one. You know what's a good song? Is Faith by George Michael. But you know what's an even better song by George Michael? I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. No, I'm never gonna dance again. The way I danced with you. Isn't that a good song? That's a good song. Cyndi Lauper also has a couple of good songs. You know, like Time After Time is a good song. And True Colors, that's a great song. It's a really good songwriting. But of course, I think George Michael may ultimately be most remembered for Jitterbug, waking him up before he goes. It's something that he requires of somebody, some unnamed other, floating in the ether, waking George Michael up. Walk my way, and 1,000 violins begin to play. Or it might be the sound of your hello The music I hear, I get misty the moment you're near. On my own, would I wander through this wonderland alone? Never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove, I'm too misty and too much in love. You can say that you're leading me on, but it's just what I want you to do. You can see now how hopelessly I'm lost. That's why I am following you on my own. Would I wander through this wonderland alone? Never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. Yeah, well, we were discussing in the car how none of us knew that George Michael was a homosexual until after he went solo, you know. I think he came out before his solo career, but I just assumed George Michael was, you know, like straight, like a rock singer, yeah, like Freddie Mercury straight, yeah.
For stuff later, the whole family painted the house, but our component was, logged out of time, and we got money for it.
Are you singing that song about fat bottom girls? But he was really talking about guys.
Well, Nintendo's right on there. We were just talking about the Game Boy, the game swap, the gift swap thing.
Yeah.
Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round.
Not his world.
No, not his, just the rockin'
The
world.
rockin' world. Yeah.
I guess he didn't include himself among the rockin' world. He considered himself among the rockless world.
Do you want half a condiment?
No, thank you.
Well, it's there if you. There's a full one if you want one later. There.
Yes, actually, yes, thank you.
Okay. I'll cook
I
at it.
would like half a condiment, thank you.
Sly Boy just might have watched Reefer Madness recently.
Oh.
They're dying from one full bowl of weed.
Let's see if the same thing happens to me. Well, I think I'm still alive. One can never be sure. Rachel and I are both controlled by our FE. Like, if it gets messy, one of us will do some chores and the other one will feel like, oh shit, I better do some chores. Even though I never think about Rachel if she needs to do chores. Or occasionally I'll be like, I want her to wash that dish already. And I'll just say to her, like, hey, can you wash that dish at some point here? But You know, it's weird how we just fell into our respective chores without ever discussing it.
We never had a conversation.
Puedo ir al baño?
And La
Can I
Sopa.
go to the bathroom? Yes. Must I go to the bathroom? Well, don't have too much faith in your self-typing, young sly boy.
To clean your Magrero. What's a Magrero?
A Magrero?
Yeah.
A Magrero is a lady named Margaret from the
Love
Mexican
you.
district of Chihuahua. I love you too, my darling.
I'm gonna go
Well,
lay
oh,
down.
Okay, good night. Magrero equals mess. IRC? IIRC? Man, I'm like.
I don't know what IRC is.
Magrero is dirt, uncleanliness. Okay, gotcha. I didn't know that one.
Mugrero. You could also just call it basura. Yeah, well, I definitely wouldn't trust your self-typing there, young sly boy.
If I recall correctly. Alright. Totally. We're living in the future. No tengo Magrero porque tengo
There's no such
vacuum
thing.
robot.
There's no such thing, young sly boy. That guys, come on. Am I the only one who can do anything around here? This is clearly a sock puppet. Oh, joined a while ago. Maybe not. Hard to say. I normally don't sort of make those kind of pronouncements. Do you want this? And it's a cigar? Well, I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play this game. Thank you, Bufo Peregrines, Perigin, whatever your name is. Yeah, maybe you are. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. Hard to say. It's easy to say, but it's hard to be correct. That's what they told me back at the university. Bufo peregrines. Glennies. Glennies? Bufo peregrines?
Is that an L or an I?
Bufo peregrines is an L. Lowercase L. Greens?
Bufo peregrines.
Great white shark colors. Fetching. Oh, is that what colors I'm wearing? Gray and blue. I just put on this hoodie because of the temperature. It was warm when we left for dinner. I thought is probably cold enough that I might need a sweatshirt. So I brought this with me. Peregrinus. Peregrinus.
Is that like Portuguese or something?
Well, that's very plausible, young sly boy. Very plausible. I mean, very plausible is inherently redundant because plausible is just plausible. You know, very or not very. It's either not plausible or it is. Otherwise, use a different word, Eric. And I was right. I was right to scold myself. And the shame I felt reverberated for years. All right, I'll take a rip from the ball. You gotta tell me twice. I'm like a professional weed smoker. So I got my bachelor's degree in actually.
I think they actually let you get your degree in cannabis technology or something nowadays.
Latin isn't all language, ergo it sucks ass. I mean, the point is, an intentional configuration doesn't ever change. Um, you never really have conscious access to your unconscious functions, not in the same capacity that somebody who has them as conscious functions does. Um, surprisingly, I find that a tough question, new group. But I think it might be because I'm FI polar. My first response is FI for sure, but then I start thinking about it, start getting feeling confused about it. So I'd go with Ruben's answer in new groups. I'm gonna go with their answer. Asking me if somebody seems FI seems to be a question that confuses me a lot of times. I mean, if you want to be typed correctly, you should pay me to type you. But, you know, I don't care. I'm not trying to what, rouse up business or whatever. I don't know what you'd call that. I'm sort of losing my ability to communicate effectively at the moment. As I just smush into an evening after a very long day of manual laborers. Oh, he doesn't seem like an ESTP to me either. I wouldn't. It's funny. I didn't really put the question in any kind of context. I just addressed the question as asked. Does he seem more TI or FI? And I didn't feel like I had any data to go on because I've only heard him say things um, like stuff he says after fights. You know, I never really listened to him talk. Mike Tyson has rage? Well, you know what? Despite all his rage, he is still just a rat in a cage. That Smashing Pumpkins guy was right. I want to eat his children. I mean, to me, that just seems like failed FE. Come on in, kitty. But maybe that's FI. I'm hard at spotting it for some reason. Well, because it's my polar. I know the reason, but it seems like knowing the reason should make it that it's not hard for me to spot anymore, but it doesn't seem to do that. So, Billy Corgan is an ASSWIPE. I gotta get my beverage. New group, I'm surprised to say that you want to eat Mike Tyson's children. Because they don't look very succulent to me. I'm in trouble. Now, where did I leave my iced tea? I don't know. I'm just gonna have to get another drink. New group. No group. Alright. 2 wonder points for you. And remember, wonder points are doubled today. That's 4 wonder points for you. I remember how many, if you had any already before, you should be keeping track. And now it feels like a brick wall. So I'm used to any which expands infinitely on things, and that seems more settled or closed. Well, that's because NI doesn't fuck around. It's like, how should we get this wet? Squirt it with a hose. And he's like, that's not fun. We need to, like, make water evaporate on top of it or something. And I says, no, just squirt it with a hose. A shoter? I don't know what that means at all. I do not know what you're talking about. Any could well be defined as fucking around. How should we get it wet though? Really, there's only one good answer. Squirt it with a hose. The thing is, I rarely watch any interviews of anybody or any because just because somebody did something interesting doesn't mean it's interesting to hear them talk about it. There's no doubt that Mike Tyson did interesting things. It doesn't necessarily mean I found it interesting to listen to him talk. Mortgage. Okay, for getting 4 chats in a row, you get 1 wonder point. All points are doubled today. That means you get 2 wonder points. Congratulations. He was interviewed by a soon-to-be murderer. Mike Tyson was. Why did the soon-to-be murderer interview him, and why did the soon-to-be murderer then murder? I want to know the details, all of them, all of the hard facts, the hard facts. Are they fungible? No, you already exhausted the multiplicity um, flag. There are no other multiplicity flags. Now, I have to go make urine. So, I'm going to leave you here. And let's see if I can get both other people here in the picture. Namely, Cameron and Capillo. Yes, I can. Now, it looks like they're talking to each other.
Well, I'll talk to her and I'll get her over here as soon as you go. Folks at home, do you believe it? All I have to do is I wiggle my little fingers and the cat will show up right here. Who believes it out there? Okay, I'll show you. Little kitty. Come on. Oh, you want to go where Eric's going, Pete? Folks at home, I just got owned, so I'm gonna cry. Neurogroove, what's up? No pasa mucho. We had some nice dinner. I ate nachos. What'd you have for dinner at Neurogroove? Yeah, Kitty's gonna be Kitty. That's correct. Oh, Neurogroove, you had the same dinner that Rachel had. Beef taco.
Are we eating more food? No, you have food. Do you want to instead?
So folks at home, I'm probably gonna go get some of the last pieces of that delicious 7-layer cookies minus the coconut. That's probably my next move. Yeah, I just had nachos and a glass of water. Nachos with ground beef. Jalapenos on the side. I know it's pretty gosh darn fascinating. I think Eric had a like a burrito. Rachel had some beef tacos. A chimichanga. It looks very burrito-like. He just gets the chimichanga because it's fun to say chimichanga. Quick trip to the Oval Office. Nice one, Neurogroove. recreate January 6th in Minecraft. Interesting. Alright, people, I'm going for those cookies. So you're gonna have to just chat amongst yourselves, okay? You guys can do it. In fact, I'm gonna assign some wonder points to everyone here right now. If you're on the screen now, Neurogroove, Oliver, Buffo Premier, Winston's mom, Ruben, all y'all. Go ahead and take a wonder point. It's approved.
I bet you guys didn't even know I had deputized Cameron to give wonder points. Well, I have. So yeah, and they're just like every other wonder point today. Point values are doubled. So, yeah. Okay. Wow. It is Wonder Points Wednesday, so naturally there's going to be a lot of conversation about Wonder Points, what they are, why they're so great. Let's see if the Oakland A's lost again today. I find myself, despite being an A's fan, hoping they lose. Yes, they did. They lost 6-1. Well, that makes them now 10-41. They're 5-21 away from home. And they are on a 7-game losing streak with a winning percentage of .196. They're 22 games out of first place, and we're still in May.
You know, there's something that the both of us are authorized to give out. And I don't know if all the viewers at home are aware of it, but they may be able to trade those wonder points in for extra recess.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Ruben is thinking he's going to trade his in for hookers and coke.
That's pretty sweet.
But he may just be asking, are hookers and coke fungible in the same way that wonder points are? And I'm going to say the coke, yes, the hookers, no.
Ah, okay.
Because I'll do your coke, but I don't want your hookers. Herman will be all sad, left with all the hookers and none of the coke. Ruben and all the hookers will be sad.
Well, Pee-Pee's got a little friend.
Is it a daddy long legs?
It's some bug I can't even see.
It's too late. Me and Oliver took it already. We all jumped right on that and got it. If you can't identify it, it's probably a mom with short arms. You get a wonder point for that one, Ruben R. That's worth a wonder point. And of course, all points are double today, so that's 2 wonder points for you. Oh yeah, that was the, what do you call them? Secret Service. And they got in trouble, but I never followed up on the story or anything. They got in trouble because they were just honest on the lurker, getting on ship face, drunk and high, sex and prostitutes. Well, they should have gotten more than that, but whatever. Stupid things, stupid things. They should have been fired for sure. That's not dignified way for American, you know, for American, we're equivalent to basically people in a State Department kind of a role, you know. And not acceptable behavior for our people to be engaging in foreign countries. Or in our own country, you know. But definitely not while at work in a foreign country. It's fucking douchebags. Well, what are you gonna do? In every life, there must be a few douchebags fall on your head. No, there are no hookers involved, Ruben. Okay? No. There are just Wonder Points, Coke, like maybe dancing girls. Okay, maybe dancing girls. But no hookers.
Will there be any Coke residue or bodily fluids on any of the Wonder Points now?
See what happens is why we gotta keep the hookers away, because now we got people thinking the Wonder Points are dirty.
Can I
No.
trust my Wonder Points are clean?
Your Wonder Points are as clean as surgical table. Okay?
Can I trust that's clean though?
Oh, it's
nowadays?
clean. Oh, yeah. Well, because it's made out of sterling silver.
Okay.
Mr. Robbie, that is not true. You guys are befouling the dignity of Wonder Points. Your tawdry affairs don't deserve the moniker Wonder.
What if a Wonder Point was like a kryptonite to a hooker, which made her no longer a hooker in the presence of Wonder Points, though?
You mean immediately made her redeem her slutty ways,
Yeah,
and then
Not
want to try to marry
redeemable.
you?
not immorally redeemable.
So you think you use Wonder Points to redeem hookers by the magic causing them to redeem themselves from their slutty ways? Well, that's a possible usage, but I don't know if the woman is going to appreciate your intervention or not.
Oh yeah, maybe they really wanna be a prostitute or a hooker, however you call it.
Well, even if they don't really want that, they may not want to be compelled magically to stop.
Yeah.
Well, it depends whose party it is, I guess, in the group. Is it possible to acquire Wonder Points on a Thursday? No, Wonder Points are available on any day. But on this particular Wednesday, point values are doubled. Okay? Hi, Rachel. For that adorable hand wave, I award you 1 Wonder Point.
So people who are in the Wonder Point bank, they still get to have Wonder Points?
Well, I mean, obviously, Rachel is not a person who awards herself Wonder Points. So if I didn't award them to her, she wouldn't have any Wonder Points.
She's not going to sneak the Wonder Points just because they're a plenty.
They're not a plenty. There's only so many we can hand out. There's a finite number of them. The thing is, of course, I haven't mentioned this, but I gave myself 10 Wonder Points before the stream started. So I figured I'd give myself a little bit of a head start. You know, hopefully nobody else catches up with me. But if somebody does, then I don't know. If I do something wonderful, then I might have to give myself a Wonder Point. You can't sneak anything past our Wonder Point security officers. Both of our cats smell you, and their noses are very sensitive to Wonder Points. I think you should just get rid of the word workplace, though, Oliver. I think that's a great way to put it. But you get rid of the word workplace. You know, my cat can smell a Wonder Point no matter how far up your butt you have it shoved, Ruben, so don't even try it. All Wonder Points are embedded with GPS trackers, and they never leave our sight of our technologies. So, anyway, the point is this. I think it's about time for me to go back outside, smoke another cigarette. And I'm going to take this iced tea with me. I'm going to drink it as part of my mouth moistening regimen. Wonder Points are like casino chips. You may be in possession of them, but ultimately they're the property of the casino. Okay. Now, while I'm out here, I'm going to try to do something wonderful so that maybe I can earn a Wonder Point. But it's unlikely. It's pretty hard for me to just do something wonderful on command. Now, if all I had to do was something adequate, that would be easy, but, you know, what's the point in even collecting adequate points? It takes like a million of them to make one wonder point. So that's just bad economics if you're trying to collect adequate points. All right, let's see if I can do something wonderful. Do a magic trick. That was fell far short of wonderful. I don't even think it reached adequate. Boy, now I'm trying to appreciate how hard it is to earn wonder points. It's a challenge. Those of you who have them, you must be pretty wonderful. Like, I didn't back the car in. For being completely fair, I'd give myself -1 wonder point for that. The point values are doubled today. The TWFP license plate is staring at me, demanding I be fair. All right, fine. I'm down to 8 wonder points. I'm -2 because I didn't pull the car in properly. It's called being a lazy schmazy. No, Eric, you can't win wonder points by being a lazy schmazy. Okay, well, I just realized how I can earn back my wonder points that I lost for parking the car lot. Although this is something that I really shouldn't get points for because I should be saying I should just take away more points until I throw these away. I said I'd throw these away when we got back from dinner. I just leave my points unchanged. I still at 8 wonder points. Some of my friends sit around every evening and they worry about the times ahead. But everybody else is overwhelmed by indifference and the promise of an early bed. They either cut up or get shut up. They don't want to hear about it. It's on the inch, it's on the real. And radio is in the hands of such a lot of fools trying to anesthetize the way that you feel. Radio is a sad salvation. Been singing this song in my head a lot lately. It sticks there like something sticky. Oh, I don't know. Perhaps glue. That's sticky. No, that wasn't what it was. Was it tape? Yes. Oh, goody, I got it right. All right, I'm done smoking. Let's go back inside. Where there are things like lights, cameras, actions. and other Hollywood embellishments or accessories. Hollywood stuffs. Why do we no longer use the word retarded? Well, it was never correct in the first place. It would suggest that they've been delayed or are going to catch up at some point, you know. But oh, I think you're right, Ruben. It's just a regular thing I gotta do anyway. I shouldn't really give myself a point for that. It should be called mentally disabled, I guess, would be the most accurate way to name them. But
I was told to use developmentally delayed maybe 20 years ago, but I don't know if that's today again. They use that.
well, whatever you want to call mentally retarded people, what makes them an actually distinct group rather than a bullshit group label name is that they have a distinct, a, a characteristically distinct quality. They lack metacognition, which all normal people have. So, it doesn't matter what you call that. You could call it um, no metacognition syndrome. Cognitively constrained. Well, I mean, like, originally terms like idiot were medical terms, but they've got, there's a term for this thing that you're talking about here, which is the euphemism escalator. Somebody came up with that term for it, and it's like no matter what term you use, that term gets poisoned by the actuality of the thing. You know, like the word special. Let's call them special. And nobody wants to be special anymore. And if you were to ask in a vacuum without any context to retarded people, do you want to go to the regular Olympics or the Special Olympics? You'd think, I want to go to the Special Olympics. Mm-mm. You wouldn't. You'd rather go to the regular Olympics. I think we both know why. Because nobody gets a Wheaties box cover for winning a medal at the Special Olympics. McDonald's doesn't keep track of the medal count with their game. You'd rather go to the Special Olympics. Well, I don't think you'd find it fun. I think you'd find it having worked in the field for 5 years, it's a whole clusterfuck of combination of bad things in general. Like, you know, you got these people who have something ontologically, biologically wrong with them. You've got laws that don't want to acknowledge that as a starting point, like Individual Disability Education Act. You got parents that don't want to acknowledge that as a starting point. Um, it's just a nightmare. You're opposed to transportation people in the group? It's like, look, I drive my own car too. But it doesn't mean we need to shit on the bus drivers and truck drivers and other kinds of people who do work in the transportation industry. They're people just like you and me. Did it literally already happen, Mr. Robbie? I didn't know that. Well, I mean, who cares about that? You know. So they put a bus driver on the Wheaties box. Maybe it's not as impressive as winning a pentathlon. You know, they put Bruce Jenner on the Wheaties box years ago. So you know that inclusion line was broken many years ago in the 80s. Well, you know, Bruce Jenner, Schmoosh Brenner. I just feel bad for the guy because it seems like to me, wow, what a terrible mistake you made. That's what it seems like to me.
It seems like he would have got some sort of body dysmorphia from being around all these vapid chicks into stupid shit. And that everyone would just talk about, like, I'm gonna puff my lips up and my ass and all. I don't know. He was around the dumbest
You
stuff.
think he caught body dysmorphia from the Kardashians?
That's my assertion. Yeah.
I like that theory.
Just from being around them all the time. That's the coffee table talk. I'm gonna go get my ass done or whatever, you know? Doesn't this look good? Doesn't my cheekbone look better with this snake bite in it? You know?
That is how they do a lot of plastic surgery these days. They just push snakes up to your face.
Pretty much.
They push snakes up to your face, and the snakes bite your face and make it more puffy. Okay, this may hurt a little.
Like if you were on a desert island with all body dysmorphic people, you might develop a little body dysmorphia.
I wouldn't.
I don't know. Maybe someone more impressionable. Maybe he was really impressionable.
I'd just be like, oh my god, these people are nuts. Get me out of this fucking island. Or I'd tell them why they're nuts and how they need to stop being like that.
Well, that sounds good.
Well, you know, it's only a problem if you're not well funded. You know, if you're a rich enough lady who wants to have puffy everything face, then you can afford for regular snake treatments. They put your face like in this little thing right here. And the doctor gets a rattlesnake and just pushes it against your face until it bites you.
You're gonna look great.
I don't remember that scene because I don't think I've ever seen that movie, New Group. But it kind of sounds familiar though too, so maybe I have. Maybe I have. Wow. I can really feel that Klonopin saying hello. It's saying, hello, Eric. You were getting sleepy. It's like it's moving one of those wristwatches in front of me, or pocket watches in front of my eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, get it. You killed that bug.
What people don't know is I get a lot of these snake bite treatments on my lips. They don't look that big, but without the snake bites, my lips are infinitesimally small. Basically have no lips at all. That's why I go in for the treatments. These are swollen up to 7 times their normal size.
I really like the swollen ankles look. So I like to go out just with my ankles exposed. So I get a little bit of bites there on my hikes.
Well, sure, yeah. There's some snake bites on your ankles because a nice, like, round, swollen ankle is some of the sexiest ankle you can get, you know.
They call it the sexy cankle.
Sexy cankle. They
Yeah.
do, yeah.
They call it cankle for nothing.
Well, that's the dance that the people who have what they're called broadened ankles. Um, when you get the treatment on your ankles, there's a special dance they do to show off their ankles. Yeah. Their first thing they do, they start out with a burqa that only reveals their ankles. And then as the dance progresses, they remove more and more clothing until at the end of the dance, only their ankles are clothed. So, where's 1850? Maybe we go eat there, but 35-minute wait. And we said, oh no, we are not waiting 35 minutes. And so we walked across the street to the Mexican restaurant, which was cheaper anyway, a lot cheaper, and was very satisfying, very filling, you know. We need a big wet chimichanga. So it's a deep fried cheap what are those called? What's pork called again? Carnitas. Deep fried carnitas burrito with red enchilada sauce, sour cream, and guacamole on top of it, you know. That's what I call a chimichanga. Well, you know, I complain about the patriarchy too. I don't like it when anybody's paternalistic, anyway. Carnito. Carnitas. It's called carnitas with an AS at the end. You got it wrong, Ruben R. They don't come in a single one. They always are plural. Well, you can't just combine Mexican words, Ruben, like you can English words. Not allowed.
Go and order the carnito. They're like, get out.
You're going to lose your official Mexican card if you try to do that.
You go to the Mexican restaurant, order a gordita, and they're like,
we're going to kick you out of La Raza.
trespassed.
You're no longer part of La Raza. You get a letter in the mail. they turned with tears and said, "Go be a gringo, go." But Abuelita, oh, you say Abuelita, it breaks my heart. That's a conversation between Ruben and his Abuelita when he says it in his flat American accent. But Abuelita, I thought we were going to, have Mexican food. She disowns him. Oh, Ruben, get out of here. Just to go to your country club parties. And then, Jennifer from the local college comes and picks him up. And she's like, "Hola!" And he's like, lily white, but she's trying to speak Spanish to the family. And Ruben's like super embarrassed. He's like, "Okay, let's go. Let's go, come on." Sarah Jennifer. I believe it's like saying something in Spanish to their family members, like, "Oh, yo, qué triste. Is something wrong with your grandma?" Everybody's like, "Okay, let's just go. Come on, let's go. Let's go." And that's where when they go to the local Laredo, Texas um, performance of the vagina monologues.
All in Portuguese.
Why would they have it in Portuguese in Laredo, Texas, I wonder?
Ichi le vagini. Bom.
So anyway, Sarah Jennifer and Ruben, they dated for about 3 months, but Ruben got sick of her constant feminist critique, rigmarole. She was always like, "I can't believe they still call it a men's room. They should call it a male person's room." Well, Mexicans are the Italians of the Western Hemisphere. I mean, of the Western Hemisphere. Of North America, okay? Mexicans are the Italians of North America. I think it's fair to say that. Their country even kind of looks like Italy, hanging down like a boot off of America. What people don't realize is that it's called Mexico because it's actually a corporation. Unfortunately, It's board of directors is questionable. Yeah, like Mexico, exactly.
Mexico, a subsidiary of Mexico.
Yeah. Of course, New Mexico is not a corporation. It's a state. It's named after a corporation. Like California, presented by Allstate. Pretty soon, state governments will start selling that. That when their name is used in official publications, they'll have to say California, presented by Allstate.
Just like in Idiocracy.
I don't think they had that happen in Idiocracy, but
Did they have like, welcome to, I don't know, everything was presented by that Brondo stuff?
right, yeah,
Sponsored by Brondo?
yeah. Like the Oakland Coliseum is called like the Ring Cell Coliseum or something now. But of course, everybody just thinks of it as the Oakland Coliseum. Exactly. Electrolytes. What are electrolytes? They're what plants need.
They're what plants crave.
No, I'd negate that affirmation. Well, I mean, it's a term with negative connotation. It's an insult, but are all insults slurs? I don't think so. So take that slur affirmation, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Well, that makes two of us, Arden Thrasher. But combined, we add up to a super genius.
So if someone's not white and they're doing like Karen activities in public, you can't call them a Karen?
I mean, Rachel has referred to what I do sometimes as being Karen like. So, yes, it's pejorative, but not all things that are pejorative are slurs. And to call it a slur is to affirm the most negative possible framing of the term. And I think without particularly good cause. If you compare it to other things that are definitely slurs, Karen would seem to not qualify as such.
I've heard that people use the term Ken for a male Karen, but I guess I'm not clear that they have to be white. I mean, if a black lady or a Chinese lady were in society calling the cops on kids for no reason, would
Yeah,
someone not call her a Karen? And I mean, would no one understand she's a Karen, or
I mean,
maybe I'm just wrong?
I don't think of it as being even either gender or race specific at all.
Oh,
I
it's
would call
Kevin.
I would call myself a Karen. You know, why even have a different term for male Karen? The point is, Karenness is not specific to females or males, or white or black people or whatever. It's the behavior itself that's Karen-y. So when I go make a big stink at the CVS in Arcadia, I was being very much a Karen.
But
But I
doesn't
disagree
Karen
that
be
there is
telling
not a
on
racial
someone?
aspect to it. I've seen You have to live in some sort of homogenous part of the country to even consider that to be a possible thing. Living in LA, you can't even conceive of just using the term for anybody because it's like there's so many different kinds of people all over the place, you know. So anyway, you got a steep hill to climb to convince me that we ought not say it, or that there's a group of people that can genuinely be offended by it because you're critiquing their behavior, not their being. And that's the main distinction to make. If you're critiquing somebody's behavior, it's fair game. If you're critiquing who they are according to some group label you arbitrarily assign on them, that's not fair. Karen's a behavior critique. So there you go. And that resolves that.
I know someone named Karen. I kind of feel bad for her because her name didn't mean anything 20 years ago.
Right. Well, you can't predict those things. You know, I named my daughter Delilah, and after that, somebody wrote that song, Hey There, Delilah. So now, of course, she'll answer the phone, hi, and someone will say, hey there, Delilah. And she'll pause and say, what's it like in New York City? I mean, what difference does it make what the Wikipedia link says about it? Yeah. That's, it's like, you can't cite any claim about that as evidence because it's merely establishing that's its interpretation of the question. You know, uh,
So if a white man calls a white woman a Karen, is it just fully non-racial then?
I mean, my point is properly used, it's a critique of somebody's behavior. Somebody who is being very fussy and overly dramatic and, you know, filming people when they're not doing anything wrong, being like, you better, yeah, stuff like that. That's my main point. It's just a critique of behavior. It's inherently not about race, gender, or whatever. If it so happens that in your personal area, in your demographic, most of the people who behave like that are white women, well, that's just specific to your area, you know. Maybe you live among a bunch of white women. I mean, it's just you, one proud black man, and shitloads of white women. I mean, that's the whole demographic.
So like a sitcom from the 80s.
I do not think there was any such sitcom in the 80s, but
Which one? Ben's? I don't know which one, but I think there are a few where there's like what you're saying.
yeah. Sometimes it's justified though, right? Like when you were filming the well, sure. Sometimes it's perfectly justified and appropriate, and other times it's not. Like when I was super impatient for the supermarket to open because it was like getting up to moving day. It was the last week or two in the arcade. I was in a super bitchy mood, um, and well, this lady I never heard who wasn't a white woman. Uh, I was outside the supermarket and I wanted to open right at 6 a.m. So I was like, it's 6 a.m. open. I was being a Karen. But this lady came up who was like an Indian lady, I guess, from India probably. Maybe Pakistani, you know, I don't know, one of those kind of Indian subcontinent looking people. And she got out her camera and started filming the supermarket employees so they weren't opening right at 6 a.m. And that one, we were both being Karens. Neither of us was a white woman. But she was being a real Karen. I mean, I was just being a dick. I'm not gonna film them. I'm not gonna be ridiculous like that. So they're a couple minutes late opening the supermarket. I'm not gonna try to film them or get them in trouble. They're just gonna look impatient, like, "Let's go! Come on! It's 6 o'clock." This bitch came up to the door. I went up to it, looked at the sign, opened at 6, looked at my watch, it's 5:55, and walked back to my car and sat in it until 6 o'clock. After I walked back to my car, I sat, she walked up to the door and knocked on it. And I was like, "Don't knock on it yet, it's not 6 o'clock." I carried her, you know. I was just super impatient to get my day started. I had a bunch of shit to do, and I was in a pissy mood, you know. The end of moving, it was just like, I was always in a pissy mood because I hated that process so much. Because people in the supermarket were like, "Look at the woman filming us." Well, she filmed some parts of it. I said, "Yes, of course you can film me. I don't care." She asked us if she could film us. Then me and this other guy was standing there. Um, and I said, "Anybody can always film me. They can do whatever they want with it." Yeah. We had no expectation of privacy. We're in a public place. You shouldn't even have to ask our permission. But I get that that's a convention. I go by that convention, but it's bullshit, really. The other guy wasn't making any kind of fuss. He was just waiting there. Right on the way out of the store, right, left the thing I had two cat carriers. I got the cat carriers and I said, "And I'd like these both put into a bag." And the guy laughed. And I said, "Sorry for being a dick." Right off, you know. Maybe I redeemed myself a little bit in his eyes. Yeah, well, you could do that. But the thing is, regardless of whether it should be that way, I mean, the reality is people are filmed all the time every time they go to stores, blah, 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 blah. But they don't like it. They don't like it when you're filming them, or even like if I were to go, if I had a table next to yours and you were eating lunch and talking to somebody, and I had a notebook out and I was pretty obviously listening to your conversation and writing down everything you said, you wouldn't like that. A lot of people wouldn't like that. I wouldn't care. I'd want to know why, just out of curiosity. Like, why are you writing down everything I say? I'm curious. Please go right ahead, but I'm just interested to know why. Go on in if you're going in. If you're just going to mull around outside, and I'm going to let open the door for you. It'd be even better if it was a typewriter. You get a good concept for a skit, you know, like people are chatting at this table, and typewriter stops every time they stop talking, and it starts again every time they start talking. And when they pause, it pauses, you know. And finally, one of them turns over. "Excuse me." I imagine this being like a British skit. "Are you Hey, excuse me. Are you typing what I'm saying right now? And he goes, are you talking to me? Yes. I'm sorry, what was it again you were saying? I asked if you were typing what I'm saying. You're doing it right now. Stop it. I said stop it. He didn't say anything. He's just like, well, Rupert, say something. It's a good idea for a skit. Yeah, Kaiho Belding, I agree. I agree with you there. It's a good observation. You get one wonder point for that observation. That doubles course today because point values are doubled on Wonder Point Wednesday. So it counts as 2 wonder points. Congratulations. You earned them. I did a lot of stripping today of this wall, but I don't like the fact that I ran the power washer 3 gas tanks full times at least, maybe 3.5. And that used a lot of water, you know. Feel kind of bad about it because we're in water tanks. I'm not really sure, you know. So I'm gonna try to head tomorrow with a hand scraper some, but you know, this is like a one-time deal getting this gray shit off this wall, and the times I use the washer to like get some of the chipped paint come off, it's going to be much less time and labor intensive process. Getting this gray shit off of this wall is it doesn't, some parts of it don't come off easy. Hmm. There's some strange noises. Maybe coyote, I don't know. Some kind of animal. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Let's actually wrap this up and just go inside, please. Will you just go inside? Trouble, for fuck's sake. Cat is nothing but trouble. Well, that is, in fact, a wrap. So, good night, everybody. I love you all. And don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.